Morning and welcome to another session of the MACSA SPD Summer School, hosted by the Mid-Atlantic Central Service Association, a proud chapter of the Healthcare Sterile Processing Association. We are so excited to have you with us for this ongoing learning series dedicated to educating and empowering sterile processing professionals across our region and beyond. Before we get started, I'd like to introduce the members of the MACSA board who make all of this possible. Denard Esnard, our chapter president, Lila Price, our president-elect, Michael Wilkie, vice president, Kelly Bessie, treasurer, Rashina Muhammad, director of membership, Shantae Brown, secretary of the board, and myself, Dannie O. Smith, director of education. We thank each of you for your ongoing support and participation, and we encourage you to stay engaged, ask questions, and continue developing as leaders in the sterile processing field. Now, please enjoy this week's educational session. All right. So, Leslie, you are welcome to share your screen, introduce yourself. Good morning, everybody.
Go ahead and get started. Feel free to add some questions in the chat if you have any. And on the bottom of your screen, there are little emoji things. So if there's something that you really like or whatever, you can push the buttons to express your feelings on anything that I'm talking about. So my name is Leslie. I have been the president of the Wisconsin chapter of HSPA for a number of years now. And one of the things that I wanted to share with you guys today is just my journey of how being involved in my chapter, and this could be any chapter, this could be in any industry, but just getting involved and reaching out beyond the walls that you work in is just so critical to taking your career to the next level. So I'm gonna share my story, my background, and just how chapter membership has really impacted my career and given me the ability to make significant changes in the healthcare environment and just in the industries as well. So the objectives is to educate everyone on the value of HSPA chapter membership. And it's not just HSPA, it's any chapter, no matter what industry that you are in, or if you're in multiple ones like myself. How to encourage active participation and leadership within your chapters, as well as promoting your community engagement and professional development. So a little bit about me. This is really just kind of like a real snippet, but I'm a person that doesn't sit still, and I'm kind of like into everything. My mom used to say that, and everybody else says that now. I'm into everything, and if there's something going on and I have an interest in it, or if I see somebody that's I see some sort of injustice, like I'm not gonna complain about it, I'm gonna do something about it. So I guess I'm a dedicated healthcare professional with a diverse background spanning sterile processing, surg tech, nursing, and healthcare business administration. I'm a lifelong learner. I'm going to be in school until I die, and I'm never going to pay off my student loans. That's how that's going to work. I've earned multiple certifications, including my CRCST, CHL, CIS, CER, and I'm also now CSF, which is a Central Service Fellow. I also hold my LPN in nursing, and I'm currently working on finishing my master's in healthcare administration through EWSP. People tell me I'm a respected leader in sterile processing, which I don't know. I'm apparently really humble, and I don't really see that, but that's what I'm told. I've held numerous leadership roles within my chapter, the Western Wisconsin Sterile Processing Professionals, including chapter president, executive board member. I started out just helping out once in a while with writing newsletters, and I just kind of took on more roles as I went along. My influence extends nationally through publication articles, guest speaking engagements, podcast features, and on healthcare efficiency, infection prevention, and leadership in surgical services, as well as dental. So beyond my professional stuff that I like to do, I am also a dedicated advocate for community health and neurodiversity. I ended up founding Neurodiverse Insights. It's a nonprofit focused on supporting individuals with neurodiverse needs, as well as for their caregivers. I have two children, Logan and Brody. My Logan just turned 18 at the beginning of this month, and I've never been happier in my life. For him to go out and just kind of see what he can do in his life and utilize his unique skill sets to make a positive contribution to our community. And then I have my little guy, Brody. He's 10. They both are high functioning autistics with oppositional defiance disorder. So they have some very unique needs, and I've learned a lot over the last few years, as well as being a caregiver to them. It's been very challenging, but it's also pushed me to join many different things, such as being on my county Health and Human Services board. So I'm also with the Wisconsin Student Nurses Association, and I've been a member of the American Legion Auxiliary for almost 25 years now. So I have a deep commitment to improving healthcare systems, advocating for vulnerable populations, and fostering personal growth within sterile processing, dentistry, nursing, and well, anything else I can get my hands on. So a little bit about HSPA chapters. So HSPA chapters are their own unique entity. They are nonprofits. They promote HSPA's vision, and they follow through with a lot of the missions that they have, but they're their own unique entity that's unique to their states or to their countries that they are in. We have chapters all over the world and all over in the United States. And while they follow the guidelines that HSPA puts in place for them, the opportunities to advance the industry through your nonprofit chapter and your unique incentives that your chapter members decide they want to focus on is unique to each chapter. So I'm going to start my journey I'm going to explain my personal growth. So it's only after you've stepped outside of your comfort zone that you begin to change, grow, and transform. And that's absolutely something that I've learned. So building confidence and leadership skills, the evolution of confidence comes from support, opportunities, accountability, desire, embracing change and challenges, and mentorship. So standing in your underwear. So when I was younger, I lived in Madison, Wisconsin, and we had a group that came to visit us from Kenya, and I got selected to be able to dress up in their traditional clothes along with a few other students, and we trained for a few weeks on some unique dances that were unique to their culture, and then we got to go in front of the entire school, both from elementary all the way up to high school, and they packed them all into the assemblies area, and we got to do this dance, and it was kind of like this line, and everybody kind of rotated, and you kept moving up to the very front, and I got all the way up to the very front of the line in front of the whole school, and I'm doing my dance, and then the next thing I know, my costume let loose, and I literally was standing in front of the entire school in my underwear. So let me tell you, at an age of probably 8, that is like life-changing and earth-shattering and confidence destroying. So from that, I really changed. It really impacted my personality, and I became from very outgoing and not afraid of anything to being very cautious, very shy. And my confidence had been absolutely shattered after that experience. Thankfully, my mom graduated from UW-Madison, and we moved very far away, so I didn't have to put up with all the jokes for too long after that. So, but rebuilding that is kind of where I'm going to explain how my chapters really helped me with that. So I really believe that when one door closes, another one opens, and sometimes it's got to be kind of like Beetlejuice, and you need to grab your little chalk and you need to build that door and like knock on it a few times and get that door to open. The door's not always obvious. So my chapter supported me when I thought my sterile processing career was over. I started in sterile processing. Let's see. I had my youngest child, and I had been working in a totally different industry. I fell during my third trimester of my pregnancy at the very beginning of it, ruptured 5 discs in my back, dislocated my hip, shifted my pelvis, pulled all the muscle in my left leg, and then I ended up not being able to walk on both my feet because I ended up with drop foot. So I was off of work the whole rest of the time that I had to do my pregnancy, and I was in a wheelchair, and I wasn't able to move from my waist down at all. They weren't sure if I'd broken something and I was never going to walk again or what the deal was. So, you know, you can only binge watch so many episodes of Bleach and anime on Netflix and not really get bored or fall asleep all the time. So I kind of started looking at different career opportunities because I was not going back to what I was. And being in the hospital all the time, I started kind of looking around and being like, you know what, this is kind of awesome and I really like healthcare. So during that time, I went back to my nursing stuff while I was sitting around doing nothing. And then once I was able to deliver my son, which he was good and healthy, and I was waiting on the wait list for my nursing program to proceed. Somebody mentioned Surge Tech to me, and I looked into that, and they were like, oh, well, there's a wait list for Surge Tech. So I ended up in sterile processing, and I was like, well, this is cool. I have all the prerequisites done. I can just pop into this program. I'll learn my instruments and move on to the next thing. But what I didn't anticipate was the fact that I was going to love sterile processing. I love everything about it. So when I went to, so I started working in my department and I did really good, finished school, and I worked third shift at one of the largest rural healthcare level 1 trauma centers. That's also a children's hospital in Wisconsin. So they serve 72 counties. I worked third shift and we ran 24 hours a day. One of the things that I saw while I was working, and one of our amazing techs that was a traveler came in with some incredible knowledge and said, hey, like this instrument actually comes apart. And it was a spine instrument that came apart. And when we took it apart, we realized that there was a lot of bioburden that was built up in it, and it had been obviously cooked multiple times. So being me, I decided to pursue that, make sure everybody was aware of it. We would notify the patients, but what I found was that it wasn't that simple. I started on the low side of the chain of command. I notified our shift manager, and when things didn't get addressed like I felt it should have, I continued to go up the chain of command. And one of the things just before this happened that I experienced and lived through was I had surgery on both my feet and my leg. And I had surgery at the facility that I worked at. And I ended up getting a surgical site infection in my leg, and I ate a good portion of my leg. So should have been a quick surgery, should have been back at work within just a few weeks. And I ended up being stuck in a wheelchair for